Welcome back to Broken Bobby's Transformation Page. In the late 80s, I became involved with drugs and would eventually become part of that lifestyle of trafficking, addiction, and violence. Over the next 20 years, I would be in and out of jail and prison. If you're thinking about trying something or you're dealing with addiction, your life don't need to go down the same path mine did. I hurt a lot of people, both physically and emotionally. These are my stories of how I transformed my life, and you can too. Let's get it. All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. As you can see by the title and the thumbnail, this is understanding the process of being arrested and going to jail or prison. So this is for educational purposes. If you've been arrested, you've been to prison, then you already understand all of this stuff. Excuse me. This is for someone that maybe has a warrant out or something like that, or maybe you're the parent of someone who is heading down that path. Like I said, it's for educational purposes. So let's jump into this. So you break the law, you commit a crime, allegedly, right? And basically what's going to happen is you are going to come in contact with the police and you're going to be arrested. Or maybe you turn yourself in. That was something I never believed in when I was out there doing my thing. But honestly, if you know that you're wanted, that's probably your best bet. It just helps in the process all the way around. So you get arrested. They're going to take you to a substation of the county jail. Now, the county jail is going to have like a main facility typically, and then there's going to be substations in different cities, not necessarily all cities, but different regions of the county. And ultimately, you will be moved to the county jail. And some county jails have more than one facility, but you're going to start in the main jail. We'll use San Bernardino County on this one for the example. Say you get busted in Crestline or in the San Bernardino Mountains. Then you're going to end up in the Crestline substation. And what they're going to do is they will move you down to West Valley at some point after a day or two, or I'm not sure exactly how that process works, but, you're going to get brought to the main jail, and there you'll be processed in. Before I get to that, though, if you're new to the channel, subscribe, smash that like button, drop a comment. If you know somebody that enjoys this sort of content, share the video to them. It really helps to grow the channel. And also hit that notification bell and hit all. That way, anytime I drop a new video or I go live, which I do a lot of on the weekend, you will be notified and you can check it out. So now you're at West Valley. You're being processed in. You're going to go through a series of holding cells. You're going to see medical. You're going to get a psych evaluation. All these good things. They're going to classify you, which basically means they're going to determine how much of a threat you are, and they're going to house you according to that. So this process time, when, I haven't been in jail in 18 years, so it's possible it may be different now, but when I was doing time, typically, 5-6 hours, you get processed in and you get housed and you end up in your housing unit. Now, on weekends and holidays, that time could be extended. And so basically, once you get through all of that process, you're going to be housed in a housing unit. For me, I did dorm living in San Bernardino County. So they send you to, for me, it was module 15. And I don't remember, it's like A, B, C, D, E, F, however it goes. Basically, there's a spot in the middle where the guards are with windows. and then there's dorms going out all the way around where, they can look in and see what's going on in the dorm. So you get housed in the dorm. You're going to go in there. You're going to, for me being a white guy, the Woods got with me, and they basically gave me the rundown of, certain telephones we can use, certain telephones we can't. I believe at that time it was like certain toilets you could only urinate in. Others were for having a sit down, if you will. Rules as far as like how the showers go. Like they basically run it all down to you, which tables we can sit at and which tables we need to stay away from, type of thing. Like they run all that stuff down to you. So you land there. Now, from the time that you're arrested, they have 72 hours to arraign you or let you go. And basically what that means is you're going to, at that time it was video court. So you go down, and on a screen, basically on a telephone, you would be, think of it like a Zoom meeting type of thing. You're virtually in court, and you're going to put in a not guilty plea. Considering it's a felony conviction. So you put in your not guilty plea, and then they put the case over for a week or 10 days where you come back and they, have a plea deal offer, basically, if, the prosecution is so inclined to do so. Now, one thing I noticed is, and I've heard this from other people as well, if there's any violence involved, they like to dangle that carrot in front of you and say, we'll give you time served with a strike, type of thing. Don't sign any deals with those strikes. I'll tell you, like I never ended up with any strikes. Luckily, my violent crimes were prior to the 3 strikes law, so that, helped me out a lot. But they'll offer you these deals where, we'll give you time served, but you have to sign for a strike. And it sounds good because you're going to get out, right? You're going to be free. But now you have a strike, and anything that you do your sentence is going to be the low term, which basically, let me explain what that means is anything you do has a low term, a midterm, and a maximum term. So say you get caught with a small amount of narcotics. It would typically carry 16 months, 2 years, 3 years. Now, a lot of times you can get like a drug diversion plan or something like that. But if you have a strike, you could get caught with $10 of narcotics. And now you're looking at the low term, which is 16 months, but it's doubled because you have the strike. So now you're looking at 32 months for something that you should have been signing a deal to go home on and, go to drug court or whatever it may be. So, excuse me. So don't fall into that trap if that's the case. It's better to do a little bit more time now and not have that strike looming over your head, because basically once you have that strike, anything you do is going to be the potential for another strike. And then once you get 3, you're done. 25 to life. And chances are you're never coming home. So, okay, so if you don't take the plea deal, then they're going to push it down the line. And if you don't have the money to make bail, they drag this stuff out forever. And in my opinion, the system is set up to break you, because if you don't have the money for bail, chances are you're going to have a public defender, and public defenders have way too many cases on their caseload. And the first thing they're going to do is try to get you to cop a plea. And even if it's not in your best interest. When I originally caught my sales case, my public defender told me that they were offering, it was like 32 months or something. And, I figured I was going to be doing somewhere in that vicinity, but, he says, oh, I think it sounds like a great deal. You should sign. And I said, well, hold on a minute here. aren't we getting a little bit ahead of ourselves? So, you know, I ended up firing the guy because I thought maybe we could get something better. And a couple weeks later, they sent me over to the Downey Expedited Court. This was out of LA County, and they offered me a year flat. So, yeah, be real careful with those public defenders. If you can afford to pay a lawyer, I would recommend doing so. And, you know, so, okay, so say you're going to trial. Now, something to keep in mind with going to trial is if you are found guilty, they are going to throw the book at you. There will be no love whatsoever. If it's 16, 2, and 3 on the sentencing guide, you're going to get 3. So you got to kind of weigh, you know, the pros and cons of that. You know, there's a lot of jailhouse lawyers in there that'll tell you, oh, bro, you need to take that deal. But, you know, just be careful with that. So now you've been sentenced, right? You've been convicted of a crime and you've been sentenced. If you are sentenced to a year or less, you are going to stay in that county jail. And at that time, that meant you were going to Glen Helen, which is, you know, it's a Glen Helen. I don't know if it's honor camp or whatever they call it, but you know, basically that's more of a long-term housing type of place. It's got outdoor recreation area with a track and a field, stuff like that, a basketball court, stuff like that. Typically, when you are fighting your case and you're in like Glen Helen or CDC, which is the Central Detention Center, not the Department of Corrections, you don't get a whole bunch of outside time. Like, it's kind of designed to break you, to be honest with you. When you're going to court, they wake you up at like 3 in the morning, put you in a holding cell. And like, I've seen guys that were fighting hot ones, and like, it just wears on you, you know, because you're out at 3, out of your housing unit at 3, you go sit in a holding cell for hours. They shackle you up, put you on a bus, take you to court, and then if you're lucky, you're back by 5 or 6 o'clock at night. And this could go on for weeks while your trial's going on. So obviously, the best bet is to fight your case from the outside if that's at all possible. Okay, so, but let's get back to it. So you've been sentenced. Either you're going to do a year or less in the county. I hear that they're doing more time in the county now, which just seems like utter torture to me. If I had to do more than a year, I would definitely want to do it on a prison yard. There's just so much more stuff that's available. I mean, unless that's changed now with the way they're doing things, I don't know. Drop a comment and let me know if you know. If you're going to prison, then you're waiting on the chain, basically, is what they call it. And what's going to happen is a prison bus is going to pull up, or the county may transport you to a reception center, which for me, it was Delano, but I hear Wasco's a reception center as well, and Tehachapi was at that time. You will go to that reception center, and you will spend approximately 90 days in reception, being classified and all that stuff. And then they'll figure out how many points you have, what level you're going to, and they will endorse you to a prison where you will finish out your stay. So if you enjoy this sort of content, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Also, hit that like button if you enjoyed the video. Drop a comment and let me know what you think. If I got anything wrong, if I got it right, drop a comment and let me know. If you know somebody that enjoys this sort of content, then be sure to share the video to them. And hit that notification bell so that anytime I drop a new video or I go live, you will be notified. Make sure you hit all on that. That way you get all notifications. And also, there are memberships available. You can hit that join button and check that out. That definitely is one of the best ways to support the channel. So I hope this was helpful. Like I said, this wasn't a video for people that have done a bunch of time. You guys already know what's up. But I appreciate you tuning in. And as always, the best way to avoid having to deal with any of this stuff is just not getting in trouble. You know, like if you're dealing with addiction, find a meeting or something and work on getting clean. Hope everybody's having a great Friday. Family, fitness, and freedom are the things that help me to get my life together, and they can help you as well. And don't look at the mountain, just start climbing.